Mauricio Pochettino is back. U.S. Soccer renewed his contract till 2030, which means he now has 4 years to prepare the U.S. men's national team for the next World Cup. In the 2026 cycle, he had less than 2 years because he took over mid-cycle. With that said, the approach should be completely different. From the beginning of this cycle, he needs to move on from certain players that honestly don't really contribute much right now and will most certainly not contribute at all by 2030. He should also bet on some young talent that might contribute just a little bit right now, but could contribute a ton when the World Cup arrives. And understand, this is easier said than done, but that's why Mauricio Pochettino gets paid millions and millions of dollars every single year. And what I want to do today is I want to give you my September roster for the U.S. men's national team. It's the very first roster that Pochettino will call up in his second cycle. And I want to tell you which players I would bring and why. Hello, hello. If you're new here, I'm Filippo and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And today I want to give you what the U.S. men's national team September roster should look like. Again, this is not a prediction of what Pochettino will do. This is what I would do, and Pete from 11 Yanks, because Pete will be doing that with me in today's episode. Now, if you do want to know what we think Pochettino will do for the September camp, go check out 11 Yanks, because we also did a video there which is a roster prediction video. This is not a prediction video. This is what we would do. And understand, in the September camp, we have 4 games. All 4 games are friendlies, okay? Against Peru, Chile, Mexico, and Canada. So since they're friendlies, I would bring a lot of prospects. I would also bring probably a 25-man roster. That way we can give everyone minutes. Let me know in the comments section down below. 4 to 5 U.S. men's national team prospects that you 100% would bring for this September camp. Also, don't forget to drop a like in this video if you haven't already. It helps the channel a lot. Just do it right now. I will not be asking when me and Pete are giving you our roster, so just do it right now. And that's all. Let's roll the intro and start the episode. All right, so by now, you probably have already watched the video that we released on Tuesday at 11 Yanks, which was what Pochettino would do. Now, this is the video where you guys can hate on us. This is what me and Pete would do. We're going to try to build a 24 to 25-man roster for the United States for this September camp. And all of this will be based on our opinion. Pete, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. And this is going to be probably drastically different from what we predicted Poch would do.
And probably more fun. I would say.
Way more fun.
Yeah.
Way more fun.
Before we get to our roster, let me bring up our World Cup roster, which is the last one we got from Pochettino. I want to go name by name, Pete, and I just want us to say very quickly, this guy, he's out of September for me. Before we even start, so people already know some of the guys from the World Cup. Some of them we could even add that to us, they're done for the cycle, right? There's a few that probably need that mention. So first one, Pete, Chris Brady, is he going to maybe be on your September roster, maybe not, or is he done?
Yeah, I mean, he's young.
Matt Freese.
Done.
For me,
at least for September. At least for September.
Matt Turner.
Done forever.
Yeah. To me,
he's
also
31, right? Like he's past his prime. We know he's not good. That's time to move on.
Let's put it this way: he's not going to get better. So
no.
Well, Matt Freese, on the other hand, if he could just not kick the ball to the opponent, that'll be some improvement. If he can do that, he managed to do it twice in those 2 years. He managed to do it twice.
Yeah, and then he also came back from the World Cup and in the All-Star game was standing in his goal on a Mexico. Like, it's just so weird to me that this guy's our national team goalie when the fundamentals are not even there.
Yes, it's sad that that's the best, well, supposedly the best we have right now. Let's go to the defenders. Arfston, done or maybe still there?
Done for this camp.
Yeah, I would say done for this camp. I wouldn't count him out completely because it's not like we have crazy depth on the left back position. So, Serginho Dest.
No.
Yeah. You mean done for the camp or no? You'd still be open?
Yeah, still open.
Alex Freeman, that one I'll respond for you. Pretty obvious. Still open. Mark McKenzie, I would say done for this camp. Maybe not the cycle. Camp. Maybe not the cycle because we don't know. Like the center back depth chart is not looking
how it's
good,
gonna look.
Yeah.
But I think this, like the way I see it with the McKenzie is the search should be on for his replacement. Like he's had enough chances. He keeps making mistakes. It doesn't matter where he plays, guys. Even though we're Euro snobs, supposedly, I don't care if he played for Barcelona. If every time you play for the national team, you make at least one big mistake, I can't justify your inclusion.
And he doesn't play for Barcelona. He plays for Toulouse, which is an okay
Yes, for
team in
now,
France. Yeah, an okay team in France. Tim Ream, I would say done for the cycle. Done
forever,
forever.
ever.
Yeah,
Like,
guy,
did you see
he's
him getting
getting
dunked on by Chase Adams in
baby
like an
Holland.
eight? I don't know why we're still calling him that, but sure. This 18-year-old who's shorter than him. Okay, at least with the Ketelare, you could argue he's taller than Tim Ream, right? You can't make that argument for an 18-year-old playing his first. It was his first ever MLS start, and he's dunking on Tim Ream. Please stop with this man, please.
To be fair, you still should not be getting dunked by Charles de Ketelare.
No,
But
you shouldn't. But I'm just saying it's getting worse, not better for Tim Ream.
yeah, and he's like 38 or 39, so
He's
why
39.
call him up? Like he's done. There's no reason. Thank you very much, Tim Ream, for what you've done in the past, especially the 2022 World Cup. But enough is enough. Chris Richards, for sure. There's no
Yeah.
reason to remove him. He's our best center back right now. Anthony Robinson, I also don't see a reason to remove him because we don't have a replay. He's like by far our best left back still, by
Yeah.
far.
It's the biggest gap in any of our positions. I'd say the biggest gap between the starter and the second goalie is left back. Or I mean, the second player is left
Yeah.
back.
Then we have our beloved Miles Robinson.
Please done
Goodbye.
forever. Please. Please.
Yeah, unlike Tim Ream, Miles Robinson is not really an age problem, it's just quality. It's
Yeah.
just not good enough. Shouldn't have been there in the first place. Joe Scally still open. He is what he is, right? He's reliable, but it is what it is. Austin Trusty, he actually might be up for a big cycle here. Austin
Yeah.
Trusty.
Yeah.
He might be the replacement of Tim Ream. He's a left-footed center back. He's looked good with Celtic, looked good for the national team for the most part. I thought he looked better than Tim Ream in the World Cup when he played. So
Yeah, I think so too. He didn't look as good on the ball as Tim Ream, but he looked better defensively.
and a goal scoring threat, right? He scores
That is
goals.
true.
Tyler Adams still there for sure. Sebastian Berhalter, we'll talk about him in this camp. I think it's tricky whether or not
It's
you bring
tricky. I don't have him done though.
No, definitely not done. And then you have Weston McKennie, far from done. Gio Reyna will be a very long discussion from both of us this camp, if you bring
This
him or
camp.
not in September, and where we're projecting him for the rest of this cycle. Gio Reyna will be a very interesting discussion later in this video. Christian Roldan, maybe in the coaching staff in the future. Maybe in the coaching staff. That's about it.
Maybe. I still don't understand what he brings that he should be on the coaching staff. Like he sees things like what? Okay.
Just a very nice guy, dude. You just don't get it. He's just a very nice guy.
Okay, then go hire fucking Ted Lasso. Like, I don't know. Like, what are we doing? Are we a serious soccer nation? I mean, we're not, but like we want to be. We have to stop acting like being good at smiling is a reason to be on the roster. Like, what is this? Pee-wee soccer? Please.
Yeah. I know a lot of nice guys here. If we're going to bring very nice guys, I would just honestly bring Max Bretos to the World Cup.
Yeah.
He's a very nice guy. I would bring him. Like if I'm going to World Cup and I want to hang out with someone, I'll bring him.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. He'd be great for vibes.
Yes. And then Malik Tillman, I mean, far from done. He seems to be starting to reach his
Top 3
peak
player
at the
for
top,
us.
Yeah. Arguably like our best performer in the World Cup alongside Balogun. Forwards, Brendan Aronson. I would say this with Brendan. He's another interesting topic of discussion. I would say he's definitely not done. Maybe for this camp, we'll talk about that. But in the cycle, for sure, he's not done.
No.
Balogun, I mean, he might even be our best player right now. Definitely not done.
Probably, yeah.
Ricardo Pepi, we'll talk about whether or not we would bring him in September, but definitely not done. He still has a lot to work on and improve, but he's still probably our second best center forward. Christian Pulisic, that'll be a fun one in this video. Christian Pulisic. Definitely not done with the national team, far from that. But September, I have a lot of thoughts on it, even if he's healthy. Tim Weah, that'll be another interesting discussion throughout the video. Definitely not done. Haji Wright, another interesting discussion. Looks like the forward section is going to be fun.
Yeah, there's a lot. With the attackers, there's a lot to talk about.
And then Zendejas, which he's a player that I don't think he's done, but I'm almost at a point where I'm like, I was hoping we were done with him at some.
It's a failure of our own development if Zendejas is not done. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so Pete, should we start with this roster? Let's build our roster for
Let's do it.
September.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone, this is the September camp roster. We're gonna have 4 friendlies. We play Peru, Chile, we play the US, we play Mexico. We talked about these friendlies on Pete's channel, 11 Yanks. Not our favorite friendlies, not the toughest teams in the world. We have the 2 worst CONMEBOL teams, and then we have Mexico and Canada, which you all should be very familiar with. But they're not terrible opponents, right? If you play like crap, you can lose to them. Okay. So with that said, Pete, before we even start building our roster, I know we have very similar thoughts on this. Can you just explain what our goal is with this camp? If we were in charge of the national team, what's our goal at this camp?
So our goal is it's a new cycle. We are building for 2028, right? Olympics and
Copa America.
possibly Copa America, which we know is happening. It's not official, but Poch would not have referenced it in his thing if he didn't know it was happening. And then World Cup 2030. These games do not matter in terms of the result, right? So this is an opportunity to bring in young, high ceiling potential players, bring them with the other players that we believe have a future with the national team, the senior team guys for the next 4 years. And it doesn't mean they're all going to be national team players in the long term, but they're the guys that have potential now. So you bring them in, you give them an opportunity, you introduce them to culture and what Poch expects from his team, formation, style of play, et cetera, tactics, and start betting them in early. That's the goal of this camp for us.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. For this camp, try to integrate as many prospects as you can, whether they're fully ready, a little bit ready, or projected to be ready in the future. The November camp, obviously, you do have to bring the best possible roster because you have to win those games and you have to advance. And then in December, which is the new camp cupcake, that's where I would just bring straight up prospects. That's all I would do. So essentially, this camp, try to mix in players that we still need in the future, that are our best players with the prospects. October, the best players possible, whether that's players in their prime, prospects, whoever you think can contribute right now. And then December, I would just do prospects. But let's build this one. This is actually the most fun because it's very tough. You have to like phase out a few players while also trying to stay as competitive as you can. And here we have it, Pete. Here's the depth chart. So far, we have no names filled out. We're going to start filling out these names very soon. Why don't we start with the goalkeepers? Our Achilles heel, our weakness, or Logan Paul's brain, whatever you want to call it. This one is tough for goalkeeper.
Yeah. It's tough because it's all bad. There are no good options here for me.
No, there are no options that are good, ready. And we do know that the Federation is trying to recruit like Nozawa, for example. There have been some reports and rumors about that. And Nozawa, that is a Japanese American goalkeeper, he is more Japanese for sure, right? He was born in Japan, raised in Japan. If we get him, if for some reason he switches, that's a no-brainer. He fixes our issues short-term and long-term.
He starts all 4 games.
Exactly. Yeah, he starts every game this cycle, and he's actually already a good goalkeeper, and he's 23. He's a very good goalkeeper for Antwerp in Belgium. You guys can look him up yourself. But we can't count on that because it's a very tricky situation. He has to give up his Japanese passport. It's not easy. So let's not count on him. And we kind of already said it earlier in this video that we are done with Matt Turner for the cycle. We're done with Matt Freese for this one. I think the first goalkeeper that we can place there is Chris Brady, right? Just have Chris Brady there right away. That is a goalkeeper.
I don't know if he's my number one. I don't really have a depth chart with goalkeepers. I just have the 3 that I want to see in this camp, and I'm fine with any of them starting. That's kind of how I see it.
Yeah, this Excel sheet is pissing me off. But guys, I'll fix it as it goes. As of now, let me just fill out the names and I'll fix it. So Chris Brady will be the first one. I think the second one for both of us, Diego Cochin, definitely not ready. Why don't you talk about Diego Cochin? Because you watched him play in Denmark.
Yes. So Diego Cochin does not look ready for a national team call-up. But you can argue nobody looks ready for a national team call-up, right? Like Diego Cochin is probably our highest ceiling goalkeeper, but he's playing in the Danish league and he's starting to get minutes and he looks decent with his feet and he has some very good moments, particularly coming off his line and making saves, but he also has some poor decision making, right? This guy has very little professional experience, but he's still one of our highest ceiling goalkeepers, even if that isn't saying much, right? I don't think Diego Cochin is necessarily going to be a top 5 goalkeeper in the world like some people think, but I will take serviceable at some point because right now we barely have serviceable anywhere.
So if it
It
was,
is
for
what it is.
example, if it was a competitive game right now, it would probably be Chris Brady, the starter.
Probably. This is what I
Yeah.
kind of see for this camp. I would bring guys and see, well, can you do the job? Right? Chris Brady is one of those guys. He hasn't been perfect in MLS either. He had some good games. He still makes a mistake from time to time. He's 22. He's decent. He's not decent. He's okay with his feet, right? Like he can play with his feet under no pressure. But like all of our goalkeepers, if you start pressing him under real pressure, he's going to make a mistake with his feet.
And then the other options we have, one would be that Pochettino's apparently recruiting Rocco Rios, the goalkeeper from Inter Miami. That to me, he's abysmal. If you're gonna bring him, I'll just bring Matt Freese.
Bring
If you're
Matt
gonna
Freese.
bring, yeah, I'll
Yes.
just bring Matt Freese. So I wouldn't bring him. And this is our roster, not Pochettino. As the third choice, you can go Celentano, Schulte. I would probably just bring the hot hand just to give him a look. Brian Schwacke from Nashville. Just
Yeah.
give him a shot. Like he's been doing well for Nashville. He's the hot hand. I don't think he's much of an upgrade from a Matt Freese or Matt Turner, but he's been playing better than them at least so far.
But can I just
Um,
say we this happened with Matt Turner and it happened with Matt Freese, and I feel like it's happening again. An American goalkeeper in their mid-20s has a good season in MLS. People start to say, they are it. This is the guy. And then we find out they're mostly not the guy, right? Like they can be fine, but sooner or later they're going to revert to form and start making some silly mistakes. And that's honestly what I think about Shawaki too. Like I watched him and I'm like, yeah, he's the hot hand in MLS, but I don't think he's the answer. You know what I mean? I think he can be in the mix. That's what I mean.
yeah,
Put him in the mix, but I
mainly
don't think he's got a super high ceiling.
no, it's like due to lack of options at this
Yeah.
point, right? And people are gonna say, "What about Gaga Slonina?" I haven't seen this guy playing forever, so,
No, no.
so
And even when he was playing at terrible levels. Like he couldn't make it at League One in Barnsley.
guys,
You think he was bad in the worst team in Belgium.
the goalkeeping situation is awful, and Brady, Cochin, and Schwacke are what we have to work with this camp, and hopefully
Yes.
they deliver, and then we have the October camp to test them out or bring Matt Freese back. Who knows?
I'm just gonna say, if Poch manages to get Brandon Nazawa, that'll be almost more important than anything else he does this cycle. Because now you're set for 15 years with Brandon Nazawa.
Yes, and then you have time to build and develop a different goalkeeper, another goalkeeper to compete with
Yeah.
him. You have time because right now we need a short term solution right now, and he would be
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He'd be short and long term actually because he's not old. All
Yeah.
right, let's do wing backs first. Okay.
Okay.
I think wing backs, just number one of each side. Let's start with that. Would you agree with me? I would bring Dest and A-Rob.
Yeah, nothing changes. Like they're still our number one.
Yeah, so I'll bring Dest and A-Rob here. So let's put Serginho Dest on the right. And then for the left wing back, we just put A-Rob. All right, so we get that out of the way. Number one, number two. I would say we can bring four or actually five. We could bring five here.
Let's bring 5. Okay.
I would actually bring Xavier Gozo as a wing back because since we played with the wingers tucked in under Pochettino, I don't know if that's the ideal position for Gozo. And he has played as a wing back for RSL. He's moving to Crystal Palace. To me, he's more of a winger than a wing back. I would see something similar to Weah. Can play as a winger, can play as a wing back. So I'd probably put Xavier Gozo here. Would
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I have Gozo there again. We're trying to move on from some guys. Not that they're done, but we're trying to give opportunities to prospects. And look, if he comes into camp and he looks like shit, then you don't call him up in November. But I think he deserves a shot.
Left wing back. What would you do there? I
Okay,
wouldn't bring
I think
Arfson for this camp. I don't think so. I wouldn't.
I would not bring Arfson, no. Like, we know who Arfson is. And to be honest, Arfson's not a guy that should play at a World Cup. And you know who else agrees with you?
Pochettino.
Pochettino. Like, he did not play Arfson, even against Turkey. He didn't play him at all. And that was the game where you'd think he would give Arfson minutes. No. Even when he pulled off Tim Weah, who was playing like shit, he still didn't bring on Arfson. So for everybody who says we don't know ball because we don't like Arfson, you have to now say the same about Pochettino because he also is like, this guy's not a World Cup level. He's 25. Good for him for moving to Middlesbrough, by the way. Trying to push himself. Hopefully he'll get better. And I think in CONCACAF, he can probably be fine. I just think we need to be looking long-term for better options. So I'm going to propose a real gamble right now. Landon Emanalo. And
Yeah.
the reason I say Landon Emanalo is this is a Chelsea prospect who's English and American. I think you have a realistic chance of getting him for two reasons. Number one, he was wearing a U.S. soccer kit for a preseason and an interview with Chelsea. Number two, look at England's left back depth. It is absurd, right? Their number one is what, 21, O'Neill? He's 21. This guy's a Man City player, right?
Hmm.
Like he's not, and then they have two or three Jed Spence. They've got other options coming through. I think, and I watched him play one game, to be fair. It was a preseason game against, I think, Urawa Reds, one of these Japanese teams. And honestly, he looked more technical than any left back prospect that we currently have. I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing him. So I would, that's my proposal. What do you think?
No, I would go with the same for two reasons, right? One, to recruit him, and two, to see what he actually looks like in camp, right? We're gonna learn more about this player as he plays for Celtic. Has it been confirmed? Like the deal is done, right? On
I
loan.
I don't know if there's an official announcement, but it was
Okay.
like all but confirmed. He was doing a
Yeah.
medical
So
there.
as we're recording this, he's supposed to go on a loan and go play for Celtic, which is a great team for us to watch, right? Landon and Manalo. We have Carter Vickers coming back, Austin Trusty. We'll learn more about him, but again, based on the options, the other option we have is Peyton Miller, um, which I think I wouldn't hate it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't hate to bring Peyton Miller, but at the same time, it's just not really a player that I think has the ceiling that Emanalo might have, and even Xavier Gozo. Gozo has a higher ceiling as well.
By the way,
Um,
Landon Emanalo might be off to Celtic because they're saying there's stiff competition from other teams that are also interested in him.
Regardless of where
Uh,
he goes, very likely
yeah.
Chelsea will loan him to a place where he'll play, and we'll learn a lot more about this player. I would bring him to see him up close, give him a few minutes in camp, and to recruit him.
Yeah.
We can't make the same mistake. Like Nathaniel Brown wasn't playing, so we
Yeah.
chose to bring Christopher Lund over him for a while.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Nathaniel Brown became very good, and he's a starter for Germany, and he plays for Bayern now, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe if we had recruited Nathaniel Brown when no one wanted him, we would have gotten him, but we didn't.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying Emanalo is going to be playing for England. I don't know. Like, I don't know. This is a
Honestly, can
potential.
we bring both of them?
We can put Payne Miller. I would bring him too because we have 4 games. You can give A Rob 2, and you can give these prospects 1 each. Why not?
Yeah.
I would
Why
put so we can put Peyton Miller because I think that's another player that we have to keep an eye out for, especially with our left back depth
Issues.
chart right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we can
So
have
those are our
5.
five.
I'm
Like we
okay with
know what
this.
Weah can do, we know what Scally can do, and we still have two experienced fullbacks there. You've got Dest and A-Rob that are the leaders, and then Gozo, Emanalo, and Miller are the young players coming in. I like it.
Yeah, that's good. Those are good options. And Gozo can play as a winger if you need him to. Honestly, Peyton Miller can play as a winger if you need him to
Yeah,
as
he's
well.
playing as a winger for New England all season.
Exactly. So we got that done. That's taken care of. Let's go to the center backs now. Center backs. Let's just get over with the ones that are locks for us, like Chris Richards at the central center back position, right?
Lock.
I don't see
Yeah.
why we wouldn't bring him. It would be, unless he's injured, Chris Richards. Alex Freeman on the right center back position, and he can. And again, Freeman can also play as a right wing back if you need him to. So technically, we have 3. And I think the left center back, I would bring Austin Trusty. Would you?
Trust it. Yeah. Those
Yeah.
three are like for me roster locks from this point forward.
Okay. Now for me here, I think we need 2 more options. I don't think
Okay.
we need 1 backup for each position. I want to give them a lot of minutes. Also, center backs often run a little bit less than a midfielder, than a wing back. We're okay with those.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would bring George Campbell.
Agreed.
I'd bring George Campbell. I'm going to put him behind Richards here for the sake of this video, but he can also play as a right center back there. He's right-footed.
Yeah.
Campbell.
Look, in an ideal world, Noah Kai Banks wakes up one day and has a change of heart and decides he only ever wants to represent the U.S. But I don't think that has happened. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to wait a long time. And if Germany shows no interest, then he's going to all of a sudden want to play for the U.S. again. That's my honest take.
Also, I want to add that Landon Emanalo, when it comes to like youth teams and everything, I don't know if he can do that in the senior level, but he has played as a center back before. So maybe he's
Yes.
an option to even rotate with Austin Trusty,
Yes.
Emanalo. He even played as a midfielder before in the academy. So that might be why he's more.
What I noticed from watching him was he was a very technical player.
Yeah.
Very
So
technical.
again, so that's a player that can play as a center back if you need him to. You can at least test him there, right? We don't know if he'll perform, but we need one more center back, and this is where it gets tricky, right? Because Tim Ream, to me, he's done, right? Time to retire from the national team. Miles Robinson should have never been there. I don't really rate Jackson Reagan, Tristan Blackman, Mark McKenzie. I don't rate him as also, at least not for the national team. I don't rate him as well. Um, Noah Kai Banks, yeah, that would be a no brainer. Bring him on, but like, what do we do here? Do you bring like a Neil Pierre that's
That's what
18?
I would do. If we're bringing prospects, look, you don't even have to play Neil Pierre that much if you don't think he's ready. But he's probably our highest ceiling center back right now. Prospect, center back prospect, not named Noah Kai
Banks.
Banks,
Yeah.
right? So I would bring Neil Pierre. He's starting. Look, he helped them to the Danish get promoted to the Danish league. He helped Lingby get promoted. He's also an aerial threat. This dude had 4 goals in 10 games for Lingby. He now has 2 goals for Philly in like 7 games. Like, this guy's an aerial threat. He's a goal scoring threat. He's our highest ceiling center back prospect, not named Noah Kai Banks. And he's starting professionally and playing for Philly. Not looking perfect, but looking very good. Very good at 18 years old. I have seen no problem with bringing him.
Yeah,
You
bring
have
him.
3 experienced center backs there, and then you have 2 prospects. And George Campbell's 24. He's not even really a prospect.
Well, we have actually 4 center backs that are kind of experienced if you think about it, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, George Campbell's been around, right? And he's played in the EFL champion. He's the captain of his team. So experience, leadership, that's not the problem. Alex Freeman has played a lot of games for the US and a World Cup. So he's
Yeah.
experienced. And he's played in La
Yes.
Liga. He's experienced. Did well for Orlando. Richards is experienced. Trusty's experienced. So there's only one center back that's a prospect. It's Neil Pierre. And I guess
Yeah.
Emanalo if you play him there. And I'll
If you
say
play
one
him there.
thing. One of the midfielders that I would bring, Tenor Testman, he has played for Lyon in a back three a few times.
Yeah.
So you can even test Tenor Testament there if you need to. You have more than enough options.
You can
So let's
also
go.
play A-Rob at that left center back spot in a pinch
Yeah, you can
if you
also play
need
2
to.
center backs if you want to. You don't have to play 3
Yes.
every time.
Yeah.
So we have enough, right, for this camp. Let's go to the midfielders now. And first with the double pivot. So these would be like the more defensive oriented ones.
Yeah.
And I'll probably bring 6 of them.
Yeah.
I'll probably bring 6 of them. I think I would bring Tyler Adams and Johnny. We can probably put
Yeah.
those right there. Tyler Adams. And guys, this doesn't mean I would start Tyler Adams and Johnny. I'm just putting here for the depth chart. Okay. So just let us put everything there.
Let us
I would
cook.
also bring Tessman and Tillman. Right? Tillman plays there as a double pivot, or should I put him on the attacking midfielder section?
It's up to you. Like, if we're doing what we would do, we have him as an attacking midfielder, right?
So I'll put
Honestly,
Tessman.
I would play McKennie there more than I would play Tillman there, but that's a different question.
Yeah. So I'll put Tessman. I'm going to put Tillman and McKennie on the. If we bring McKennie, I'll put him on the attacking midfielder. I would bring Adri Mehmedi.
Yeah, same. I think this is a high ceiling prospect, our highest ceiling double pivot midfielder prospect.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's already better than Christian Roldan has ever been in his entire life. I do. I watch him play. This dude is so good on the ball. He receives it on the turn, effortless passing, even under pressure. Like when he's being pressed, he's still so good on the ball. His first touch, and he's also intelligent. He can dictate tempo so well. 100% he should be there.
And this is where it gets interesting, Pete, because I would like to bring at least one more. Because look, let me just put this up here. Let me already put Malik Tillman here because it would be crazy to not have him. In the attacking mid, would you also bring McKennie? Because if you would, I'm just going to add him as well.
Yes, I would
So
bring
I'll
McKennie.
put Weston McKennie here. And again, McKennie and Tillman can also play in double pivot. So I want to bring one more double pivot, just one more.
I say Berhalter.
But here's my question to you.
Or
We know
Busio.
already. Yeah, I was going to say, we already know what Berhalter can do. I'm not even saying Busio is better than Berhalter because we don't know. Busio helped.
Yeah.
He led Venezia back to the Serie A. He was captaining the team. And Busio in the past looked very good in MLS as a 19-year-old. Would you not rather for this camp bring Busio, see how he looks, and if he doesn't look good for the November one, which is the competitive, you bring back Berhalter because you know what Berhalter can do. Also, let Berhalter settle with his team, right? He's in a new team.
Yeah.
In this case. So I would probably just bring Busio to test. I don't know if he's better than Berhalter. I just don't know.
No, I don't. I think they're different skill sets also. I think that Busio is probably better on the ball. I think Berhalter might be a better like battler, like a brawler, you know. But that's fine. I mean, bring Busio, and then like you said, we know what Berhalter can do. It's not that he shouldn't be there. To be fair, I think Berhalter is probably going to be fine in CONCACAF going forward. I just don't know if this guy's ever going to be a guy that's going to make us a good World Cup team.
Mm-hmm. Now, going on to the attacking midfielders slash wingers, I think we only need, would you say 2 more? I don't think we need more. 2 more.
I would probably bring 5 and 5. We have 4 games, right? 4 games. So
Because
I would
Gozo
bring.
can play there as well. That's what I was saying. But
I mean, so how big do you want your full roster to be? If your roster is 23, then
let's
yeah, you
see.
don't need more.
Let me see how many we have so far. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we have 20, and we're going to have 3 center forwards. That would be 23. So if we want a 26-man roster, we need 3 more for the attacking midfielder wing. So let's just do that. Let's just do 3 more there. So that would be 5 and 3 center forwards. And then we have a
Okay.
26-man roster, which is, I think that's roughly what we predicted on yours as well when we did the Mauricio Pochettino roster prediction. Which, by the way, everyone, if you're watching this video and you want to see or you want to hear what we think Pochettino will do, go watch Pete's video at 11 Yanks. We released both of these videos this week, so go check that out and drop a like in this video if you haven't already. Just do it right now. So let's do that.
Yeah.
We have McKennie and Tillman. Christian Pulisic. Let's assume he's healthy. Do you bring him?
No.
Me neither.
I think this man is so about rest that we should let him rest. He's not going to be healthy, or he might be just coming back from injury, but even so, I still don't think you bring him. I think Pulisic can come back for the competitive games. But I think the goal should be become less reliant on Christian Pulisic this cycle. Definitely not the captain ever. I would never give him that captain's armband again. I think he's still a good player, right? And he's still a part of the team. But I think we need to stop acting like he's the guy for us.
He was not even a top 3 guy for us in the World Cup.
You could argue he wasn't even top 5. Oh, but he was injured so much. Yeah,
Well,
but then when he came back, what did he do? Nothing.
yeah, he had a good 45 minutes against Paraguay, the
Sure.
whole World Cup.
Yeah.
Against Belgium, he was abysmal, and then he got injured.
Yeah.
So I
And
wouldn't
also
bring
just
him.
talking about it's fine because now I can rest. Like the fact that you're saying that 5 minutes after we got thumped at home at the World Cup tells me everything about his mentality. And it's not just that. People are saying, "Oh, you're criticizing Pulisic for one moment." No, guys, it's refusing to play against Mexico when Poch first got hired.
Well, the
It's
Copa America also, he was part of that. He endorsed
Copa
Berhalter, and
America.
we got grouped.
He endorsed Berhalter and called fans haters for not wanting Berhalter back. We got grouped Copa America with him as the captain. When Poch took over, he wouldn't play against Mexico, went home to rest, wouldn't play in the Gold Cup, right? Got mad at the fans for criticizing him, right? Got mad at pundits for criticizing him. Made a documentary with his dad gets to criticize the pundit. Like everything before the World Cup saying it's just another tournament. It's just another tournament. And then after the World Cup being like, I need to rest more. Just like the endless amount of things with this guy is just really making him
I
less and less like.
also, I may be mistaken on this, but there was also an interview when people were talking about his goal drought with Milan and the fans criticizing him with the U.S. goal drought with the U.S. as well. He said something along the lines like, "It's okay because then I'll score in the World Cup or something, and they'll start rooting for me again." Well, guess what? He didn't. So
Yeah, it was after the Gold Cup where he's like, oh, people are just, it'll be fine. Like basically calling fans dumb and saying
yeah,
they have short memories. If I score a goal, they'll be fine.
but he didn't. So there's that. So I'll leave Pulisic out now. Do you bring him to the October camp? That's a discussion for another time. All right, we're not
Then
October, the November.
November,
We'll
yeah.
talk about the November when time arrives, which will be after this camp. I wouldn't bring Pulisic as well, and then it becomes like the other options are Brendan Aronson,
So I would
Zendejas.
not bring Brendan Aronson,
Me
not
neither.
because I don't think he shouldn't be involved in the cycle, but when was the last time we really saw Brendan Aronson have a good game for the US?
Oh, I don't remember at all, actually.
I know he's playing well for Leeds sometimes, or he's
Okay,
playing
playing
in the
okay,
Premier
playing okay.
League, playing okay, right? And people say he's playing in the Premier League. How do you not bring him? He's even occasionally getting goals and assists. Yeah, but it's more about his national team performances, right? If he was doing exactly what he was doing with Leeds and he would come off the bench for the US and get goals and assists, right? Nobody would really have a problem with him. But it's the same thing as Mark McKenzie. It doesn't really matter what you do for your club if you look like shit every time you step on the field for us.
Yeah,
That's the
I
truth.
mean, I don't have anything to add for that. It doesn't matter if he's playing the Premier League. I know MLS shows are going to call us Euro snob, or they love to call us Euro snobs, but um, I'm not bringing a player just because he plays in the Premier League. Also, again, he does okay. It's not like he's standing out in the Premier League. Because if you're a player that's standing out in the Premier League, I would say something along the lines, hey, maybe let's be patient. Let's persist on him a little bit, like we did with Tillman, for example.
But
Right?
also, Aronson has 50 something caps. We've been patient with him,
No, yeah,
right? This
that's the
isn't
point. Yeah, that's the point. I'm
right.
just saying that he's playing the Premier League, but it's not like he's killing it, right?
No, no,
So
I
I,
wouldn't
I,
bring him. I
I
know what I
wouldn't
would do with
bring.
these next three. Okay.
Okay, so let me put it this way. I wouldn't bring Zendejas either. We know who he is, and I wouldn't say he's done. We might still need him. I just don't think we need to see anything from him. Diego Luna, no, I'm sorry. I didn't like
Less
his
said, the better.
attitude also out of the World Cup, like talking about possibly switching to Mexico. It's like, are you stupid? You can't even
Yeah.
do that anymore. Why would you even bother saying that?
But
And
that's what people like to say. We love his mentality. He's a warrior. He plays for the shirt. Really? Because as soon as he doesn't get called up, he talks about switching to Mexico.
And
So
Mexico doesn't want him also, and they can't get him. He's cap tied. But anyhow, then we look at other options. We have mainly prospect options, and we have also like these players that are a little bit obscure. They play in weird leagues like Croatia, for example. You want me to tell you what I'll do?
sure.
So at this point, because we're bringing in prospects, and I don't want Christian Pulisic there, I would probably go with Rokas Pukstas to see where he's at and see if maybe a call up helps him get a freaking move out of Croatia because he's playing very well. And Croatia is a competitive league; it's a tough league, but it's not a high level, right?
No.
I would bring Pukstas. I want to see him up close, and I
I want to see him
also
for the national team. I want to see him at a better level than the Croatian league.
yes, and I also want to see if that maybe helps him get a freaking move out of that league.
How long is he going to be there for? Like, what does he have to do to get out of the Croatian league?
I
No,
don't
I'm
know.
with you on Pukstas.
So I would bring him. I would look.
I honestly, I know it's crazy to bring this many prospects, but you have two experienced attacking midfielders there who are like the senior. For me, I bring Kevin Sullivan and Mathis Albert.
You bring so Kevin Sullivan is playing. He's doing well for Philly. Since this is a friendly camp, I know he's not ready, but I'll be okay. I'll be okay bringing Kevin to
Yeah.
this camp. If you want to
And you could
test him, this
argue
is the camp.
Mathis Albert's probably not ready either. But what does ready mean, right? We're not expecting them to like be ballers for the US now. This is an introduction, right? And if you train and play well in this camp, you might earn a November call up. This is an opportunity for you to earn a call up to a competitive game. So come and show us what you can do. That's
Um,
how I see this camp.
Let me ask you a question about Albert because Kevin is playing for Philly and starting. Let's say Albert, I don't know, Dortmund makes a few signings and he goes back to the U23s. I don't think that'll happen, but let's say that happens. Let's say Albert doesn't play a single minute for Dortmund, even if he's on the bench. Would you still bring him?
Yes.
Okay.
Because again, it's like we're just here to see what you look like. I think if Mathis Albert, this is where it's unfair. Would Kevin Sullivan play a single minute for Dortmund?
Oh no, I don't
No.
think so.
Would Mathis Albert start for Philly?
Yeah, he'd
100% he
probably be
would.
starting him and Kevin on separate wings, on
Yeah.
opposite wings.
Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, he's playing at a much higher level. He made his debut for Dortmund younger than both Gio and Pulisic did. Of course, it was just 5 minutes, but still. He outperformed both Pulisic and Reina for Dortmund youth teams in terms of goal production, right? And we've seen that this guy has talent. So it's just a come into camp. And look, if you're not ready in this camp and we see, okay, he's not quite ready yet, then that's fine. We don't call you up in November. Okay. But for me, what is the alternative? If I leave Mathis Albert at home, I'm going
Weah
to call up Gio Reyna,
or
Tim
Weah?
Weah. It's like Gio Reyna, we know what he can do. He needs to go to France and hopefully start playing serious minutes again. You know, I don't think Gio's done. I actually think he was okay for us at the World Cup, but I'm just so tired of him sitting on the bench and then moving and sitting on the bench and moving and sitting on the bench. It's like, yeah, let's see what these guys offer in this camp.
I think also we're trying to do the best job here in integrating young talent while keeping like players that we know perform always for the national team. That way you're
Yes.
not just putting the prospects out there to burn them.
You have about 10 to 15 senior team players in this roster when we're done. And that's what you need 10 to 15 senior team players and then 5 to 10 prospects for friendly games.
Yeah. And then when we play the competitive games, let's say Puxtas, Albert, and Sullivan look completely out of their depth. Then sure, Aronson, Gio, all these guys, we need you in November because we need to
Yeah.
win these games. The prospects are not ready. But let's say one of the three prospects we mentioned looks good, then you only bring maybe Gio, Brendan, and keep one of the prospects, right? So
Yeah.
you slowly start to integrate them. That's what we're trying to do. Guys, we haven't forgotten about Gio. It's just that we know what he can offer. Let him stay with Strasbourg. He needs to get minutes for his club, right?
Yeah.
That he hasn't done in multiple seasons. He has to go play. We haven't forgotten about Tim Weah. We know what Tim Weah can offer. If Gozo goes into camp and plays like crap, next camp, bring back Weah. We know what he can offer, right?
Yeah.
Um, and all of that. So now center forwards, Pete. For center forwards, I mean Balogun. We have to bring Balogun.
Yeah. There's no question.
I also think we have to bring Pepe. He's number 2
Yeah,
still.
those are our two best strikers. He also just scored for PSV. He's black. He's starting for PSV. He's like, it's not. Yeah.
So the only thing that we have open here is the last center forward, which then we look at the options that I wouldn't bring Haji, mainly because I know what he can offer. I also want to see if he's even going to play in the Premier League this season for Coventry. And again, if the prospects shit the bed, we bring Haji next camp. He's back. We
Yeah.
know what he can offer. But then let's talk about the prospects then. I'm not even going to mention like guys like Brian White that Pochettino has brought in the past or
No, no.
Sargent. They shouldn't be there.
No.
I think the top 2 prospects, and it kind of depends on what you want because they're very different players. The top 2 prospects would be Julian Hall from the New York Red Bulls. Even though he played out wide the last game I watched, he can play as a poacher, as a center forward. That might be his position in the long run. And the other option is Justin Ellis from Orlando City that can play as a center forward. I also think he might be able to play as a 10.
Yeah.
He's more of a playmaking center forward. Doesn't score. He has like 1 goal. I only remember him scoring 1 or 2 goals for Orlando this season.
Yeah.
He's not really a goal scoring threat, to be honest, but he's cleaner on the ball than Julian Hall, picks better passes, can combine better, and he gets more assists, right? I think he's a more well-rounded, to me, he's a better player than Julian Hall, in my opinion, Justin
I
Ellis.
agree.
So the question becomes, who do you bring? I personally would bring Justin Ellis, just because I think Hall would be something like a Ricardo Pepi. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, what will be your choice?
What do we stand to lose by bringing both?
Well,
Like
you're just going to take them away from their clubs, and one of them might not play.
I mean, it's a national team call up. You get to train with the senior team. We get to look at you. And if you're impressing in training, you might get minutes. There's 4 games.
Or okay. So hear me out. You can bring both of them. The games against Chile and Peru, maybe, which are the first 2, you play Balogun and Pepe, and you let Balogun and Pepe go home, back to Europe.
I would not play either of these kids against Mexico, Canada. Those are the tougher games.
I know. I
actually
agree
think
with that.
Peru, Chile are the easier games if you're going to give prospects a chance. I also want to beat both Mexico and Canada. Even though it's a friendly game, I still want to beat them, right? We have to get back to being the number 1 team in CONCACAF this cycle, and that starts even in friendlies. So I would not let Balogun or Pepe go home. You're here for camp.
I don't know if I would bring both, though. I'd probably just bring 1.
If we're only going to bring 3, I'm with you. I'd bring Ellis. I think he's the better overall player. And I think you could also play him in midfield. Try it. Why not?
Yeah, so this is what our roster looks like right now. We have 26 players. I don't know the average age, and unfortunately, it would take too long to calculate that right now because we actually built this roster on the spot here together. We have notes and we've done our research, but we just built it on the spot. I would assume the average age is very low because even our most experienced players are not that old, right? They're like McKennie at 27, 28, and we have a lot of young prospects. It's got to be below 25, the average age here.
Oh, yeah, for sure it is. But it doesn't matter. These are friendly games, right? This is a opportunity camp, basically, to come and show what you got. And you still have 12 guys, I just counted here, that are experienced national team players that have either played at a World Cup or have more than 10, 15 caps for the national team, okay? So you have Pepe, Balogun, Tillman, McKennie, Adams, Johnny, Tessman, Dest, A-Rob, Richards, Freeman, Trusty. That's 12 guys. That's all you need.
Pepe.
I had Pepe there.
We had Pepe, okay.
I counted Pepe.
Yeah, we have
so
enough
you have 12
experience.
senior team players. Also, this idea that you need Tim Ream to show them the way, I just don't buy it. Like people say, you need your veterans there. We have veterans in the team. I agree. You need some, for sure. You don't need every position to have. What is Tim Ream going to show Austin Trusty or Neil Pierre? I'm going to be honest. Neil Pierre is going to learn from Alex Freeman and Chris Richards, right? What is Tim Ream going to show him? Alex Freeman, despite being 21, was actually, for me, our best defender at the World Cup. He was better than Richards.
Also, Tim Ream won't be there in 2030, so you have to get rid of his leadership early so someone else
Yes.
can lead. Otherwise, he's just going to keep leading forever. You need to get
Well,
rid of
yeah.
him so that someone else can emerge and like, okay, I'm the leader of the back line now. I'm going to teach them the way. And again, I think Chris Richards at this point, this may sound crazy, but he may have as much Premier League experience as Tim Ream.
Yes. Also, Chris Richards did lead the back line at the Gold Cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was Tim Ream at the Gold Cup?
I don't remember now.
I don't
Why
remember him
wouldn't
at
he be?
all.
Why wouldn't he be? I think he
Yeah, he was
was.
in MLS. He was, no?
I think he was because
Okay.
McKenzie and Miles were the backups. I think I think Richards and Ream played. Yeah, pretty
This
sure.
was Richards and Reams. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But
No,
for me, Richards was the leader of that back line at the Gold Cup, not Ream.
no, and look, all these players here, besides I guess Mathis Albert and Cochin and Manalo, there's only 3 players that don't have much professional experience. Like Kevin Sullivan was with Philly's senior team last year, and he's played a lot of minutes this year. Every other
Yeah.
player has at least one full professional season. They've played like youth tournaments for the US, and many of them are very experienced players. So I think this is a very well-balanced roster for a friendly camp. We wouldn't bring this
Yes.
to a competitive camp where we need to win
No.
right away, but I think this is very well balanced, and that's the roster. Guys, just to recap, the goalkeepers are Chris Brady, Diego Cochin, Brian Schwacke. And then you have the right center back will be Alex Freeman. Just the center backs in general. Alex Freeman, Neil Pierre, Chris Richards, George Campbell, and Trusty. The wing backs would be Anthony Robinson, Landon Imanalo, Peyton Miller, Serginho Dest, and Xavier Gozo. That can also play as a winger. Midfielders, the double pivot, Johnny Cardoso, Tyler Adams, Adri Mehmedi, Tanner Tessman, Gianluca Busio. Attacking midfielders, Malik Tillman, Kevin Sullivan, Weston McKennie, Ruckus Buxtas, and then Mathis Albert. Up top, you have Balogun, Pepe, and Justin Ellis. And just once more, I want to repeat this. We didn't forget Weah exist, Gio, Aronson. We didn't forget all these players. Okay, guys, and even McKenzie to an extent. I probably would bring McKenzie over Neil Pierre if it was over Neil Pierre if it was a competitive game.
Sure.
We didn't forget them. It's just that these are friendly games and we want to test out guys. The guys that hold their own, maybe they earn a spot in the November competitive games in the Nations League. If they don't, we have those guys. We have Weah coming back. We have Aronson coming back. Gio, and honestly, they probably will be back in November. Pete.
And to be clear, we don't think this is what Poch is going to do. Go watch my video where we talk about what we think Poch is going to do. It's not as fun as this, but it's a lot more realistic.
Yeah, I would say it was also a fun video. We had a few laughs here and there, but it is a lot different. You're right about that.
Different kind of fun.
Yeah. So, guys, go check out the other video as well where we do the prediction for Pochettino's roster that was released at 11 Yanks. Drop a like on this video. Drop a like on that video. Believe me, these videos are quite different, even though you have the 2 idiots here. The very good-looking idiots, right? One looks like Brad Pitt. The other one looks like Tom Cruise. But the videos are quite different. Believe me. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Drop a like before you go. Have a great day. Bye-bye.